right, good morning. We're gonna jump right into a nice well-rounded flow. We're gonna do a couple of inversions toward the end of class, a headstand and a shoulder stand, which I'll talk you through and we'll work up to. So let's go ahead and start in child's pose. Go ahead and come onto the shins, bring the knees wide, bring the big toes to touch, walk the hips back to the heels, and walk the hands toward the front of the mat. Let's take 5 breaths here. Sometimes it can help us settle with a nice deep open mouth exhale, and then begin to right away connect to our Ujjayi breath. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Gentle constriction to the back of the throat. 3 more breaths here. Let the belly fall between the legs as we inhale. And as we exhale, draw the belly button back toward the spine. And complete this exhale. Keep the hips by the heels, keep the right arm extended, and just slide that left arm underneath the right for a gentle twist. Come onto the left shoulder and the left ear. Two more breaths here. And extend that left arm long, slide the right arm underneath the left. Gentle twist in the opposite direction. Come onto right shoulder and right ear for 3 breaths here. Complete the exhale on this side. Walk that right arm long again. Release forehead to the mat, and then just slowly press up to tabletop position. And let's just start to take some movements here in tabletop. So we can rock the hips side to side. We can take some cat-cows. We can press the hips back and forward. Just whatever feels good as we start to connect with the body. Couple more breaths here. And then when you feel ready, start making your way to downward facing dog. And same thing here in downward facing dog. Continuing with our nice deep breathing and just taking any organic movements that come naturally and that we feel the body needs today. So once again, we can sway the hips side to side. We can pedal the legs, bending and straightening one leg at a time. We can lift the heels high and release them to the floor. We can rock forward and backward. Whatever your body is asking of you here. Just really focus on releasing tension from the neck, letting that head dangle. Then find a static downward facing dog. Take another breath here. Inhale. And exhale. And if needed, just walk the feet a little bit further toward the hands or closer toward the hands. And then we're going to reach that left hand across the body toward the right ankle. Go ahead and get a nice grip on that ankle, pull the elbow to the left and look to the right. And then switch it out. Take the left hand back to the mat, reach that right hand across toward the left ankle, then pull the right elbow to the right as we look to the left. Take another breath here. And then come back, right hand to the mat, and walk the feet to the front of the mat, coming into ragdoll. Take a bend to the knees, opposite hand toward opposite elbow, really focusing here on spinal length versus hamstring length. So keep the legs nice and soft. And as we sway side to side, possibly straightening and bending one leg at a time. One last breath here in ragdoll. Make your way back towards center, and then release the hands to the floor and heel toe the feet to touch. Keep a little bit of a space between your heels so the sides of your mat or feet are parallel with the sides of your mat, and then very slowly roll all the way up to a stand. When we arrive at standing, again, take some more movements here in the shoulders and the neck. And just settling here on our feet now in an upright position. Once again, if the feet are touching or apart, make sure that the sides of the feet are parallel with the sides of the mat. Coming into mountain pose, palms face out, fingers face down, quads are engaged. Engage strongly through the triceps, lift through the crown of the head, shoulders relaxed away from the ears. Keep a nice soft jaw, nice steady gaze, maybe closing the eyes for one more breath. Inhale, both arms up overhead. Interlace the fingers, release the index fingers. Take the biceps by the ears, nice squeeze here. Inhale, lift, and then exhale, side bend to the right. Keep that left shoulder and the left hip in one line. We're gonna hold it, so stay really engaged in the core, stay engaged through the legs. Take another breath. And then come back through center. Release to the left, keep right shoulder in line with right hip, quads are engaged, biceps by the ears, keep the head in line with the spine, hold here, breathing deeply, trying not to collapse, but instead stay lifted, chest is nice and open. Take another breath. And then come back through center. Release the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers. For chest expansion, press the hands down as we lift through the chest, open through the collarbones, and then hinge at the hips. Forward folding, reaching the hands up and over the back of the head. Again, let the head dangle. Take another breath here, squeezing the palms of the hands towards one another. And then as we exhale, release the hands down to the earth. On the inhale, halfway lift, come into monkey pose. And then as we exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands on the floor and then step back to plank pose. We're gonna hold here in plank. Bring the feet in line with the hips and then draw the tailbone down toward the floor. So we have a nice flat back. One long line from the crown of the head all the way back through the heels. Hold here for another inhale. And then exhale, shift forward, elbows stay in, come all the way down onto the belly, nice and slow. Zip up the legs, take the hands behind the back for another chest expansion. Press the fists toward the heels, lift the chest off the floor. Keep the head in line with the spine. Hold here or lift the feet off the floor. Squeeze the inner thighs towards one another. Good, really nice alignment there. Looks good. Take another inhale. And exhale, release the feet. Bring your hands back underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes under, press up through tabletop or plank, and back to downward facing dog. Let's continue our warm-up, working into some sun salutations here. So on the next inhale, make your way to the front of the mat, and as we exhale, we'll take a forward fold. Inhale, rise up to tall mountain. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold, reaching through the fingertips, hinging at the hips, coming down with a nice flat back. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands. Inhale, step back, plank pose. Option to take the knees to the floor for Chaturanga, or keep the legs lifted, come all the way halfway down this time, up into upward facing dog or cobra, and then back to downward facing dog. We're going to take 2 more rounds of that. So inhale, exhale, look forward, step or float to the front of the mat. Forward fold, exhale. And of course, at the pace of your own breath. We're just warming up. Breath to movement. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, cactus the arms. Tall mountain, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, Chaturanga or your variation. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, back to downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. And last time through. Look forward, inhale, step or float to the front of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Tall mountain, inhale, rise up. And cactus the arms, exhale. Tall mountain, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, monkey pose. Exhale, Chaturanga. Upward facing dog on the inhale. Downward facing dog on the exhale. On the next inhale, lift the right leg high. And then take a short step through. Plant your back heel on the floor. We're coming into warrior 1. If you don't feel balanced, you can take the right foot a little bit further to the right so your feet are on railroad tracks instead of in one line. So your choice. So you can either find that heel to arch alignment or railroad track alignment. Both arms up overhead. Draw that right hip back, left hip forward. Nice bend in the right leg. Reaching up through the fingertips, rolling the shoulders down. Take another breath here. Now take the hands behind the back for humble warrior. Interlace the fingers, press the fists down, open through the chest, and then take that right shoulder to the inside of the right knee. Let the head dangle, looking back at the back foot. Take another breath here. Okay, we're gonna come all the way up and we'll just spiral those arms all the way to warrior 2. So left hand comes up and around, and we might need to increase the stance here. You can bring your feet back into alignment with heel intersecting arch. Keep those shoulders right over the hips, reaching through the fingertips. Chin coming toward right shoulder. Gaze continues to be soft and steady as the breath flows when we hold this posture. So really get grounded through the feet, but find that lift and extension through the crown of the head and the reach of the fingertips. Take another breath here. On the next inhale, come into reverse warrior, left hand down the back leg, right arm up and back, and then exhale, low lunge. I'm gonna peel that back heel off the floor as we come down, stacking the right knee right over the right ankle and preparing to come right back into crescent lunge. So inhale, reaching the arms up overhead. And once again, we're gonna hold here. So get really steady through the feet, get really low into the lunge of the front leg. Back heel stays lifted and is right over the toes. Arms are extending towards straight, biceps by ears. Slight spiral of the pinky fingers in as we hold the pose for another inhale. Exhale. And then inhale, we're gonna come into standing splits. So taking the hands to the floor, stepping forward, lifting that left leg up. 5 toes of the left foot pointed down toward the floor. Head is dangling, no tension in the head or neck. So check in here that you can wobble the head around in circles and that the shoulders, even though The arms are relaxed down toward the floor. The shoulders are away from the ear. So try and avoid any crunching like so. Good. Take another inhale here. And then as we exhale, we're going to step back into low lunge and heel toe the right foot out to the edge of the mat, coming into runner's lunge. So release that left knee down toward the floor and then come down onto the forearms if possible. If the hips aren't that open, just stay upright on the hands. Take another breath here. And then come back up onto the hands. Heel toe the right foot back toward the center of the mat. And we're gonna come into a vertical twist this time. So the right arm's gonna come up and over back behind us as the left arm extends forward. Good. Now take your inner thighs, squeeze them in, square those hips, actively reach through the fingertips. And then we're gonna move from our vertical twist into revolved reverse warrior. So you're gonna take your right hand to your left leg and the left arm's gonna come up and back. So you're gonna get this nice stretch through your left side. Take another inhale. And then exhale, both hands to the floor. Step back plank on the inhale. Lower chaturanga on the exhale. Upward facing dog on the inhale. And back to downward facing dog on the exhale. Take a full breath here. On the inhale, lift the left leg up. And then step through shorter stance, preparing for warrior one. So again, heel to arch alignment or railroad track alignment. Reach the arms up overhead. So getting into a position where you're comfortable in getting that back leg towards straight, a lunge in the front leg, and the hips and shoulders towards square. Okay, warrior one can be a very challenging posture in this way. So just make whatever adjustments that you need to make in your own body. Take another inhale here. And then take the hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers, working into humble warrior. Expand through the chest and the collarbones, and then come forward, releasing that left shoulder to the inside of the left knee. Now press your left knee into your left shoulder so you're really active in the inner thigh. Check in with head and neck, and then don't forget about the back leg. So really engaging that right quadricep. All right, we're gonna transition from humble warrior to warrior two. So as we come up, release the hands and then open up the arms. If we need to increase the stance, just heel toe that right foot back, settle into the pose. So left knee coming toward left pinky toe, tailbone drawing down. So really grounding down, getting solid in our feet, but then finding that lift through the crown of the head and the extension through the fingertips. Take another full breath here. On the next inhale, reverse warrior, come up and back, just stretching through the left side, and then low lunge. Heel comes off the floor. Good, and we're preparing now for crescent lunge. So make sure that left knee is stacked over the left ankle and then reach the arms up overhead. Good, now spiral the pinky fingers in. Release the shoulders away from the ears. Good, and get real strong and grounded as we hold these poses. This is where you can really commit to the pose and get low in that lunge. Get nice and stretched out through that back leg. All right, we're coming into standing splits pose, so we're gonna bring the hands to the floor and just lift that right leg off the floor. Square the hips, and then all 5 toes of the right foot are pointing down. So your standing splits might look more like an upside down L, that's fine. Just really engage the quadricep and the glute to lift that right leg a little bit higher. Try to avoid crunching the shoulders by the ears. Take another breath. And then we're gonna step way back into low lunge and make our way toward runner's lunge. So taking that left foot, heel toeing it out to the left side of the mat. You can stay upright on your hands, you're just getting a nice stretch for the hips here. You can take your right knee to the floor or maybe your forearms to the floor. Take another breath. And then heel toe that foot back towards center. Lifting the back knee off the floor. And we're gonna come into vertical twist. So we're gonna bring that left arm up and over, right arm reaches forward. Now take your inner thighs, squeeze them in toward one another. Take the left hip, draw it back, right hip draws forward. And then actively reach through the fingertips, palms face out. Maybe looking back toward the back fingertips if we feel balanced. And then take that left hand towards your right leg for revolved reverse warrior. So we're getting this nice stretch in our right side. Take a big breath here. And then hands to the floor. Step back plank pose. Lower chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. And downward facing dog, exhale. Take an inhale. Exhale. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step through for warrior one. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, hands behind your back. Expand on the inhale. And then forward fold on the exhale. Inhale, warrior two. Bring that arm up and around. Exhale, sink in here. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, standing splits. Exhale, we'll take one jiva squat. Inhale, standing splits. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, vertical twist. Right arm up and over, left arm forward. Exhale here. Inhale, revolved reverse warrior. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right to the other side. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step through for warrior one. Inhale, warrior one. Breath to movement, take it at your own pace. Exhale, hands behind the back. Chest expansion, inhale. Humble warrior, exhale. Inhale, warrior two. Up and around. Exhale, settle in. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, standing splits. Exhale, jiva squat. Inhale, standing splits. Exhale, step back. Inhale, vertical twist. Exhale, settle in. Inhale, revolved reverse warrior. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One breath. And one more time, that flow on both sides, and then we'll take a break. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step through. Warrior one. Chest expansion. Inhale, open. Exhale, humble warrior. Warrior two. Sink it in. Reverse. Low lunge. Standing splits. Jiva squat. Standing splits. Low lunge. Vertical twist, inhale. Settle in. Revolved warrior. Low lunge. Plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. This is our last time through. Left leg inhale, step through. Warrior one. Hands behind the back. Expand. Humble warrior. Warrior two. Settle in. Reverse. Low lunge. Standing splits. Jiva squat. Standing splits. Runner's lunge. Vertical twist. Sink it in. Revolved warrior and low lunge. Plank inhale. Chaturanga exhale. Upward facing dog inhale. Downward facing dog exhale. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale. And come to a seat. Grab a drink. All right, so let's make our way into boat pose. We're gonna do a little bit of core here. Let's go ahead and just rock those heels off the floor. Reach the arms forward. You can stay right here. Bring the legs to 90 or bring them to straight. Your choice. Just keep that chest lifted. Try and avoid hunching and crunching. So stay nice and open, expansive, active through the fingertips so our arms aren't just hanging out here. Hold here for another breath. Inhale. Exhale. And then just hug those knees in the chest and roll onto your back. Extend that right leg straight up toward the sky and then the left leg straight forward on your mat. Okay, you can have the foot on the floor or hovering off the mat. Interlace hands behind the head and then twist that left elbow to the right knee. Hold here and unwind. Extend, keep your left hand where it is. Extend your right arm to the right, palm face down. Again, left leg can be on the floor or hovering. And then we're gonna take that left elbow to the right knee and we're gonna start to just pulse up. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug the knees into the chest. Big breath here. And now extend the left leg up toward the sky. Right leg either flat on the mat or hovering, heel hovering off the mat. Hands behind the back. And bring that right elbow to the left knee. Hold here. And lower. Now extend the left arm to the left, palm face down. Again, foot on the floor or hovering. And let's just lift and lower. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug the knees into the chest. And then take your feet into butterfly feet. So soles of the feet touching. Interlace hands behind the head. And then you can have your feet flat to the floor, or you can have them lifted, and you can have your hands behind your head, or you can reach your hands forward towards your feet. So start to lift and lower. Halfway there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug knees into the chest. and then go ahead and stretch it out. So extend those legs long, reach the arms up overhead, and take a deep breath into the belly. Hug knees back into the chest for our last little push for core. Just rock the length of the spine, come through, and make your way to forearm plank. All right, make sure that the head is in line with the hips, is in line with the heels. And then from here, take that right hand to the floor and left hand to the floor, so we're in plank pose. And left forearm to the floor, right arm, forearm, left hand, right hand, right forearm, left forearm. One more on each side, so right, left, and left, right. And then lower the hips to the floor for Sphinx pose. Stretch up through the crown of the head. And then lazy Sphinx, shoulders by the ears, chin to the chest, so we can stretch through upper back and neck. Rock side to side. And come back to Sphinx. Good, and then make your way back to downward facing dog. Take a nice deep breath here. All right, right leg inhale, and then step all the way through, feet between the hands, exhale. Inhale, crescent lunge. And exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. And exhale, half moon pose. We're gonna start making our way towards some balance poses. So hand is either on the floor or the shin or a block. Stack those hips and shoulders, reach through the left fingertips, flex through the left toes. Another breath. All right, take your left hip in line with your right, bring your left hand to the floor. We're gonna transition to revolved half moon. So all left toes point down, and then start to reach the right arm up. Work toward keeping the hips level. All right, and from here, bring that right hand back toward the floor, keep the left leg off the floor, and then start to bring that left foot through. And we're gonna either take hold of the left knee with the right hand or the left foot with the right hand. I'm gonna take this into a twist, so reaching the left arm back and then extending the left leg forward. Okay, wherever we are, bring the left foot to right inner thigh. If you can't reach the inner thigh, take it to the calf. Hands to heart or reaching up overhead for tree pose. Get really active here in this right leg. And then opposing forces, pushing that right leg into the left foot, but equally putting pressure from the left foot into the right leg, so everything is nice and active. All right, if they're not already, bring hands to the heart. And then we're going to transition to airplane pose with hands at heart center. So nice and slow. Extend that left leg out behind us. Keep the hips level. Gaze comes to the floor. Heels in line with hips, in line with head. And then last push, coming into full warrior 3. Find arrow mudra, interlace those fingers, keep the index finger extended, and reach both arms forward for 3, 2, 1. Step lightly back, hands to the floor. And then Vinyasa, if you'd like, stepping back with the breath. Inhale, plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look forward toward the hands, step or float feet to the outside of the hands, and come into Malasana. Release the heel or the hips toward the floor, hands to heart center. Hold here for 3 breaths. Last breath here. And then option for an arm balance. We're not going to spend a lot of time here, but if you'd like to plant your hands on the floor, bring the knees high up into the backs of the arms and lift those feet off the floor for 3 and 2 and 1. Option Chaturanga. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. One breath here. And let's take it on the other side. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step through low lunge. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, half moon pose. Make that transition nice and smooth and steady. And then stack those hips and shoulders. Active through the right toes, flexing back toward the face. Lifting actively through the right fingertips. And then start to bring the right hip in line with the left, right hand to the floor, 5 toes of the right foot point down, and then extend that left arm up for revolved half moon. Last breath. Bring that left hand to the floor and then slowly transition through, bringing that right leg up, taking hold of the right knee with the left hand or the right foot with the left hand, and then taking it into a twist. So start to extend that right arm back. We're either holding onto the foot or the knee. Coming into tree pose, bring that right foot to left inner thigh. If we can't do the left inner thigh, take it to the calf or the ankle. Hands at heart or reaching up overhead. Really active here in this left leg. Drawing that right knee back, reaching through the crown of the head. Bringing the hands to the heart. Transitioning to airplane with hands at heart center. Extend that right leg back behind. Hinge forward. Bringing torso and leg parallel to the floor. Gaze is nice and steady. And then find Arrow Mudra with the hands and start to extend the arms forward for Warrior 3, for 3, and 2, and 1. Hands to the floor, step lightly back. Inhale, plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. And downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale. And exhale. So on the next inhale, step or float through to a seat. Good, and we're gonna make our way toward shoulder stand or legs up the wall pose. Both are nice inversion that's not too challenging on our balance, but still we get all the benefits of the inversion being upside down, having the head below the heart. So if you're in a place where you have a wall and want to do legs up the wall pose, you're just going to scoot your mat up to the wall and then slide the legs up the wall so it looks like this. You can do this without a wall as well, but it's a little less restorative because the legs are working and the stomach's working or the core is working, okay? So if you don't take legs up the wall pose, take shoulder stand, we'll lay back down on the floor. And then you're just gonna rock your knees toward your chest and lift your hips off the floor. Take your hands to low back and then start to extend the legs straight up toward the ceiling. Keep the neck nice and long and the gaze neutral toward the feet. I'm going to give you a couple of options here. So you can stay right where you are, or you can take your legs into eagle legs. Right leg over left, cross them, wrap them, maybe toe hooks around the ankle. And squeeze those knees down and then press the legs up. So you have a nice squeeze of the inner thighs. Another breath here on this side. And then option number 2, transitioning into straddle splits. So opening up the legs, getting a nice stretch for the inner thighs, keeping those hips off the floor. Another breath here. And then transitioning to eagle legs on the other side. So left over right, maybe hooking that ankle, squeeze the knees in and then press the legs up. If we took any of those leg variations, extend back into shoulder stand. And then last option is to move into plow pose, bringing the feet back to the floor behind us. If the feet don't reach the floor, continue to keep the hands on low back for support. If the feet do reach the floor and you want to take a chest expansion, just interlace the hands and then roll onto the shoulders. If they're not already, bring hands to low back. Extend the legs up toward the sky. And then lower all the way down onto the back. Hug the knees into the chest. And then roll your way back up to a seat. All right, so make your way back to downward facing dog. Just for a transition here to half pigeon. So on the next inhale, take that right leg high. And then exhale, bring right knee toward right wrist. Good, extend long through the crown of the head. And then forward fold. Come back up onto the hands. And then we're just going to take that left leg and slide it around and come into half Lord of the Fishes for a nice twist. So plant the left foot to the floor, ground through the sitting bones, position the shoulders over the hips, and then we're going to twist to the left. So that right arm can come up and over to the outside of the left knee. Or if you'd like to take a bind, a half bind or a full bind with the arms, you can reach that right arm underneath the left thigh toward the clasp of the hands. Unwind from the twist, and then keep the right leg where it is and just extend that left leg to the left for Janu Shirsasana. I'm going to take the shoulders and face them toward the left toes. Bring the arms up overhead. You can take a basket weave grip if you want, if you can reach around the foot. Otherwise, just slide those hands down the leg. Working that forehead toward the knee, knee toward the forehead. Even if that means that the leg is bent and the knee is making contact with the forehead, and we slowly start to work the leg towards straight. And release from the fold. Make your way back to downward facing dog just for the transition to half pigeon pose. If you'd like to get into half pigeon a different way, feel free to do that. From downward facing dog, we'll just lift that left leg high and bring the left knee toward the left wrist. And just lengthen first and then release. Come back up onto the hands, and then we're just going to slide that right leg around. So the right foot is going to stamp to the floor to the outside of the left knee, and then just ground through the sitting bones. So if you find that you're leaning off, just make any adjustments that are needed so that both sitting bones can be flat on the floor and nice and grounded. And that's another option too, if you'd like to extend the left leg long. Okay, so two options here for our twist. And then stack the shoulders over the hips, and we're going to twist to the right. So you can hook that left elbow to the outside of the left knee, palm faces out, or you can take it into a half bind with the left hand, or a full bind, reaching that left hand underneath the right thigh. Yeah, so sorry, the half bind would be with the right hand toward the left hip. And unwind from the twist and extend that right leg long to an angle. Knee and toes will point up, and then we'll position our shoulders so they're facing our right foot, arms up overhead. You can take a basket weave grip if you want, reaching around the bottom of the foot, or again, you can walk your hands up the leg, forehead to knee if you can. So if that means bending that right leg, taking the forehead toward the knee, and then slowly extending that leg long, that's an option as well. Release from the fold, bring both feet flat to the floor, lower down onto the back. Let's take bridge pose to stretch out the front line of the body, heels by hips, and then lift the hips off the floor. Hold here. Last inhale, and exhale. We already took a nice long twist, so we're just gonna bring our feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart, and we're just gonna rock the knees side to side. So bring your arms into goalpost, and then just rock the knees to the right and to the left. One more on each side. And then hug the knees into the chest. And make your way towards Shavasana. Extend the legs long, let the feet fall open. Arms rest alongside the body, palms face up. Relax the jaw, let go of the breath. And start to bring awareness back into the body, wiggling fingers and toes, rolling wrists and ankles. And then reaching arms up overhead for a full stretch. Slowly making your way onto your side, cradling the head and the arm, bringing the knees into the chest. Taking a final moment here to acknowledge your practice. Set an intention for your day. And slowly press up to a seat. And bringing hands to heart center. Inhale through the nose, fill all the way up. Let it go through the mouth. Today, as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, peace in your heart. Namaste.